Okay, we're trying. So, hello to the person who's already in the chat right now. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Thank you so much for returning. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. Make sure you're commenting down below and make sure you're subscribed if you're not already, as well as following my Instagram and Twitter at @Ty_guidance to stay up to date. So thank you so much for already being in the chat. You were my number one fan. Like, give yourself a big round of applause. And make sure if you're not already following me on all other social medias at Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Hey you guys, it is Hi and welcome or welcome back to today's video. I have something specifically and strategic for you all, of course. So I just want to say thank you all so much. I'm gonna let some people join and I'm just gonna have to get straight into the video, you guys. But welcome or welcome back. I hope everyone's having a great day, morning, afternoon, regardless of where you are in the world watching this, as well as taking each day for what it is. So for those of you who may know who I am, welcome. And if you don't know, I am a spiritual physician. I am an intuitive listener. I am a teachable individual and I'm just the messenger. So that being said, I suggest and advise information on this channel. I do not tell you what to do. I speak from a place of experience as well as informing and educating the collective by using natural resources such as outside, the earth, books, the internet, and everybody else's experiences. So that being said, there's no right or wrong way to live your life. And as a spiritual physician, it is optional to heal yourself. You don't have to heal yourself. Healing is an option, so is suffering. But somebody representing themselves as a spiritual physician, I am not going to tell you what to do or how to feel because I don't think that is right. My purpose is to let you know that it's okay for you to express yourself. It is okay for you to be who you are. And that if people do not like who you are, I suggest and advise that you no longer tolerate or associate yourselves with people who do not have your best interests. It's really important to do things that work for you as well as surround yourself with people who make you feel welcome. Because something I just want to suggest and advise as I get into this video is not having to force yourself in any form of relationships with anything, because something that I'm going to be talking about as I'm channeling is that everything is already meant for you. You don't have to go out your way to do things that are not for you. Anytime you go out your way to do something that's not for you, now you're distracted, now you're off course, and now you're not focused. So as people join in really quickly, guys, I'm going to make that thumbnail because that is something too that I will be working on. So for those of you who are returning, thank you so much for being A1 since day one. And if you're new here, welcome, welcome. Like I said, thank you guys so much for following me on my platforms. All of that information will be in the description. I will continue to update descriptions and the bio. But really quickly, if you guys see me looking down, I do have my phone in front of me. I'm going to go ahead and make a thumbnail for this video and let some people join. And I'm not going to stand here too long because I just made my food and I don't want to get cold. So I'm not a mukbanger, mukbanger, but I'm a real person. So because I'm a real person who goes through real things, I like to make that be relatable and vulnerable. So no, this is a safe place. This is a judge-free zone environment. We don't invalidate people's experiences. We suggest and advise as well as inform and educate. So just like me suggesting and advising information, I'm a teachable person. I do not know everything, nor do I have the intentions of being a know-it-all. Anytime someone thinks that you're a know-it-all, they only know what they know, just like me. So because I suggest and advise information, like I said, I use natural resources, I use books, dictionaries, thesaurus, historical textbooks, my personal experiences, and experiencing life. Everyone's life is not the same. Everyone's journey is not the same. Everyone does not have the same culture, finances, and education, as well as resources. So, knowing that you're only one person doing the best you can, once again, I'm here to suggest and advise information and help the collective who choose to. It's a choice. You do not have to. So, if these videos are not for you, keep going about your business. Do not, worry about anything or anybody who is not serving you, as well as conversing, spending energy, and like I said, distracting yourself. So I'm going to make that thumbnail, and if some people join, you can make sure that you share the video, most importantly, if not liking it. So let's make the thumbnail. Okay, so in a minute or two, I will go ahead once this thumbnail is uploaded. And thank you so much for those of you, like I said, who have been following me on my other platforms, because we've reached our goal, my goal for the beginning of this month. My goal on Instagram, excuse me, because I don't think it's appropriate for me to talk with food in my mouth, but my goal on Instagram was to reach over 100 followers, and we have 150. So I just want to say thank you to all 150. For those of you who have genuine intentions, of course, I know some people are just watching just to watch, but I really want to suggest and advise that stop watching people who you don't want to see do well or you don't have no interest with. Like, it's really important because when you start focusing on people, you're giving your energy to them. Like a lot of people on my personal Instagram, I suggest and advise like removing and blocking people because it's like if you don't want these people to do well, it's no reason for you to focus on people. So like I do genuinely suggest and advise like to stop watching people that you don't want to learn from or that you don't want to grow with or that you don't want to see well. So we reached 150. Like I said, some of you all are genuine, some of you all are just there. I think it's really important to anybody, whether you're a client, subscriber, or just to watch. Like you do realize that what you focus on grows. A lot of people consciously and subconsciously have negative, demonic, and jealous energy in their spirit, and they don't realize that they're watching people that they don't like. And what happens is when you start to focus on things that you don't like, it's going to expand even more. That's why I tell all of my genuine subscribers, and that's why I say genuine subscribers. It's not to be shady, it's not to go back and forth with people, but it's like, think about it. It's your life. Like what you focus on, what you get from this world is whatever you choose to focus on and allow to grow and what you invest your energy to. So like when you don't have genuine attention towards people and you focus on them, that's all you're gonna think and worry about. So like me personally, I'm just blocking people out of respect. And it's like if you care about yourself, everybody should not be in your personal space. And that's what we're gonna be talking about as this channel message. So in 3 minutes, I'm gonna get into the video because I'm still making a thumbnail and I'm trying to eat my French toast. Burger King has the best French toast in the world, and I love French toast, you guys. Are these French toast from Burger King? No, but they taste like it. And you guys, the reason why I'm chewing like this is because I got my wisdom teeth removed. So like I don't have any teeth in the back of my mouth. I don't know if I want to get veneers or not because I'm not gonna lie, like when I was young, before I was able to educate myself, like I always used to think veneers were like, and it's not to throw any shade towards anybody who has veneers, but like I used to think veneers were like cool because the teeth look nice, but I realized like I'm not George Washington. Like I said, I'm not throwing shade, but it's like, why on earth would I want fake teeth? Like, and they're hard. I mean, yeah, they look appealing. So I feel like people that get veneers get them because of the appearance, but it's like to have fake teeth in your mouth, I'm good. Like, I like the teeth that I have, and my teeth, I'm fortunate enough to take care of and maintain. So unless all of my teeth, were to disappear, maybe, but I just don't want to. And not just that, a lot of people, what I want to suggest and advise, like when it comes to doing things for your physical appearance, you also have to maintain. So, like, something I had to realize, like, is preparation. And before I start the channel message, like, are you prepared to maintain your veneers? Like, people get things like their hair done, their boob jobs, even their teeth done. And something I want to suggest and advise from experience and just somebody who would just want you to know this, like, are you able to maintain your veneers? Are you going to be able to maintain, you know, the work done? A lot of people want things, and that's something too we're going to be talking about in this video is like, are you willing to maintain it? It's like it's one thing to get something, but if you're not willing to maintain it, if you're not willing to take time to upkeep it, it's not to say that you can't get it, but I personally would not suggest and advise getting veneers or getting anything that you're not willing to maintain. And that's including a business, friendships, or anything. So really quickly, guys, I cannot multitask. Once I finish this thumbnail, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So for those of you who are joining in out the chat, thank you so much. I do apologize. Like I said, if you guys see me looking down, I'm just trying to make the thumbnail. But if you are returning, welcome, welcome. Let me just make the thumbnail so we can get started. But that's just something to think about, you guys. Like, do your research when it comes to doing something new and understanding anything new to you is new. Don't label it hard. Don't label it easy. Okay, that's what we're going to be talking about. So, yeah, let me just go ahead. I need to look up the title. I always do this. Channel message. Okay. I'm like, what's the, excuse me. Excuse me. Okay, cool. I just want to, yeah, because YouTube, the way their thumbnails are set up, like, I don't know where in the algorithm or where in the camera live that it gets these pictures from, but like the pictures that it does for me, you guys, it's always crazy. And let me go ahead and add a description while I'm here. But you guys, this is a specific channel message, and I'm intending that the right people come across this video and watch this video. And even if you are not intended to watch this video and you choose to stop by, you know, there's nothing wrong with listening. So I'm almost done, you guys. I cannot multitask. I seen a post where it says, you're multitasking because you're losing your mind and you're chilling at the same time. And like I have a dark sense of humor, so I thought that was hilarious because I feel like that's what multitasking like you have to be able to have so much energy that you're like having anxiety to the point, and it's no shade or no tea, you guys. I'm a spiritual physician. I'm a holistic healer. So all of us have experienced anxiety and depression, etc. That's why I'm here. Okay, you guys. So let me just go ahead, add a description, and we can get started. Okay. Okay, cool beans. It's just cool beans, you know? Okay. So the channeled message. I just want to start off by saying that for those of you who may not know what channeled messages are, let me go ahead. And this is why I like to break things down for you guys. Not for people to be so content with messages that they do not understand, like the intention that they get so focused on the word but to process. So, for those of you who are in tune with yourself, like spiritually, you know that that's what the world is. Like anything that is physical material is physical material. So, what I mean by that, like your spirit is your inner, your spirit is your emotions, your spirit is your soul, your spirit is your existence. Something that to be physical material, for example, this lip gloss is considered to be a physical material item. It is a physical item because we're able, for those of you who have sight, because all of us don't have sight, we're able to physically like put our hands on, we're able to feel. So your senses are hearing, touching, seeing, smelling, and tasting. And then for those of you who are in tune, you know, you have your sixth sense. So I'm able to physically feel this. I could taste this, but it doesn't taste like anything. I'm able to see, I'm able to smell, and I'm able to use. This is a physical material item. So, for those of you who are in the spiritual realm, like myself, and for those of you who don't know what the spiritual realm is, that is another like universe. So, to make this very simple, because as I'm speaking, I'm starting to get the download. Women or men, I'm gonna start off by saying this, are two different species. And usually I have notes on what I want to say, but I am practicing just natural because I know how to channel naturally. It's just I need to focus. So, like, men and women are two different species. So, because men and women are two different species, we both have equally gifts that one and the other doesn't have. So, as a spiritual physician, as a holistic healer, first things first, what I want to start off and suggest and advise is knowing that it's okay to be a woman and be masculine, and it's okay for men to be feminine because both of us equally have both feminine and masculine energy. What I want to suggest and advise is learning to get to know yourself internally and physically so you're able to align yourself. So if you're insecure about physically what you look like, internally seeing why it makes you feel the way you do, so physically you can change your appearance. The purpose of channeling, the purpose of messages is to receive the download so you're able to interpret how it makes you feel. So me being a spiritual physician, I'm just here to suggest and advise information. But the specific message that I'm going to make in this video is the aligning of our life. So for some of us who may or may not know, like the world is pretty old and a lot of people don't understand how old the world is. And because the world is really old, a lot of us are experiencing life from Monday through Friday, Saturday through Sunday, December through January, and not feeling as though we have any purpose. So me and just like a lot of people who are in tune with themselves are here as channelers for those who use their, like I said, gifts for good to educate and inform the collective. So, as women, specifically, me being a divine feminine, it is a part of my nature just naturally to just have this energy. So, like when you're around people, what I want to suggest and advise is to pay attention to how they make you feel before they speak. And the reason, once again, for this is because it's spiritual energy. Like when it comes to interpreting information, when it comes to listening to people, when it comes to healing yourself, you have to be mindful of the energy that you are receiving. This is why I tell you guys to use your discernment. And if not in this message specifically, I'm telling you to use your discernment. Your energy and energy in general, because that's what the spiritual world is always going to speak before physically you react, before verbally you express yourself or you choose to communicate. So, when it comes to healing, what I want to suggest and advise, because there's no right or wrong way to do that, number one, after you realize your gender and you learn to internally heal yourself, is to, like I said, start paying attention to the energy. So, when you walk in a room, how is the room affecting you? And how is your energy? The reason why this is important, the reason why this is a channel message is because you must be able, in order to elevate, for those of you who are here and for those of you guys who are going to be booking sessions with me and doing the classes, you have to know the difference between your energy and somebody else's energy. A lot of people are easily influenced, a lot of people are manipulated spiritually, and they don't understand physically because they don't know the difference between their energy and other people's energy. So, for example, for the women, naturally, we have natural aura internally because that's the purpose of our uteruses in us giving life. So we feel things throughout our menstrual cycles and just differently and generally. Men, what I want to suggest and advise for all the men and not little boys is learning to understand how you feel, because it's not to say that you all don't have those gifts, but you guys are emotionally intelligent. Men are emotionally intelligent because they know majority of the time how to control their emotions. Nobody is perfect. So it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, but just keep that in mind. Like men, because I'm the opposite of that, I'm only here to suggest and advise. Learn to listen. Like when women are speaking to you, don't be so egotistical that you can't listen to what a woman is telling you, because both men and women can teach each other because we're both opposite, even though we are the same, like I said, in this for a different topic, because once again, how I'm learning to break down this information, it has to be like from A through Z because everybody is not on the same level. So, men, once you realize, what women are trying to tell you, the women, like I said, that are in your life to better you, because that's the purpose of energy. That's the reason why it's so important to focus on people's energy first. What I want to suggest and advise before you start listening to them. So, for example, like myself, if you feel as though that my energy is making you feel uncomfortable, if you're triggered, before you start reacting, before you start retaliating, if you're not able to separate your energy and understand why you feel the way you do about yourself, pay attention to my energy. And that's the same thing with women. And as a woman, you guys, like I said, I'm applying myself a lot more. Start to pay attention to the energy towards the men that you're around. Like me intentionally, I'm not gonna lie. Like I've always been intuitive. I just would try to make excuses for certain men in my life, certain boys in my life, and I had to realize, like, me trying to make excuses for these people just kept making the energy more louder and louder. And because what happens is when you're in an environment and the energy is not aligned, because there are no coincidences in life, you're either aligned or you're off balance. What's going to happen is more and more of that energy is going to expand. So, like how I told you guys not to focus on people, things that are not for you, that's the same thing. When you're focusing on people, when you're surrounding yourself with people, the energy is going to cause you to feel so uncomfortable. It's going to cause you to feel uncomfort, or it's going to give you a sense of familiarity. And a lot of people are not able, like I said, to separate the two energies because some people like myself, depending on, you could say toxic or narcissistic, choose to ignore, or they just don't know any better. Me personally, I'm not gonna lie, I choose to ignore, which is not good because what happens is you end up taking away from your energy. And that's why some people, Some people feel the need to manipulate your energy. Like, I've had a lot of people trying to manipulate my energy, all because I wanted to see their true intentions, even though deep down in my heart, I had the sentiment idea. And something I want to suggest and advise too is always trusting your gut. Like, your gut is an alarm system inside of your physical body, letting you know that something or somebody is not for you. So, when it comes to channeling, for those of you who are starting off and want to excel your energy and want to align yourself and get to that level of elevation, always pay attention to the energy before someone speaks to you. So, for example, there are a lot of people, like I said, that I used to associate myself with, and I already knew their energy. They can say whatever they want. I knew their energy. I've always paid attention though, because, like I said, I'm just curious. And sometimes I'm not gonna lie, when you do that, that's a caution warning. I don't suggest and advise that unless you're highly intuitive. You have to be careful. But if you're not there yet, start paying attention to the energy. It doesn't matter what somebody tells you. Like, it only matters when somebody tells you when the energy is aligned. And I'm not going to say it doesn't matter what somebody tells you when the energy is not aligned, excuse me. Because when somebody's not telling you the truth, that's also too. So what I want to say to go off of that is always listen to everything you're told. I know a lot of people are like, you're not supposed to listen to everything. I disagree. I believe that you're supposed to listen to everything that you're told, and how you choose to interpret it. That's where the energy comes in. That's when you're supposed to be able to know the difference and know that, okay, just because this person says something to me, is this true and does this resonate? Because that's now the option and the power you get to determine after you process the information if this is resonating with you, if you want to continue to respond or even be associated with this kind of energy. Because a lot of people don't listen to people and they allow certain words or certain actions to offend them, not realizing that the energy already spoke. So when somebody does something or they say something, that is your confirmation. I love French toast. So when it comes to confirmation, it comes immediately. So for those of you who, like I said, are intuitive and you practice, you know too that you have to be mindful of how you respond. You have to be mindful of what you're saying. And this is why I really suggest and advise to you all the time, most importantly, to use your discernment. You do not have to figure nobody out. You do not have to strip away from people. You don't even have to say anything to certain people, because the energy is going to speak before that person does. And once again, them speaking is a confirmation. What people do is a confirmation. A lot of people, like to say it's just, oh, your actions don't listen to words. No, everything about everybody. Because what happens is, because we are spiritual beings, it can only be denied or confirmed. Like, somebody can only tell you information for so long until it makes you feel some type of way, whether it's true or false. And that's the same thing with people lying. Like, somebody can only lie to you for so long until that energy starts to resonate with you in your spirit. And what that is a form of when you're negative is guilt. And something that I've been like paying attention to recently, and just during the times that we're experiencing, is a lot of guilt, excuse me, is starting to come up to the surface. Because, like I said in this video, Earth is very old. And because the Earth is very old, what's happening is anything that's not genuine, that's not aligned with what is supposed to happen for certain people, is starting to get removed. So the specific message, like earlier today, I've been decoding, you guys, like I've been decoding for the past 2 days, because I personally have been sent from other people to let me know, like, okay, this is where we are right now. Like, everything that I do, of course, is going to be specific and strategic for those of you who are returning. But for those of you who are new, you have to understand that you need to start doing things really intentionally. if you want to move forward. Like if you want to elevate, you cannot sit here and give your time and energy, and you cannot do things that you used to do. Now, of course, something I want to suggest and advise when it comes to growing and healing is that it's only uncomfortable because you've been in position mentally, emotionally, and spiritually for so long that you've normalized comfort. Nothing in life should be uncomfortable or comfortable other than accepting things for what they are. Like when you learn to accept people for who they are, like I said, without changing them, you just learn to accept people by listening, by evaluating yourself and evaluating other people. You will then realize, like, okay, are these people that I want to surround myself with? Is this something I want to listen to? Is this worth my time and energy? Or is this taken away from me? Like, you don't have to go back and forth. You don't have to prove a point. You don't have to be superior. You don't even have to speak, honestly. And it's really important that people learn, like I said, their energy and other people's energy. The reason why it's so important to know your energy is because you have to know when you're in scenarios or you're in environments that are draining from you. The purpose of elevation, the purpose of healing yourself in order for you to find peace is to be a peaceful individual. So something that I suggest and advise and I say to my clients and anybody watching this is to be mindful, like I said, of your heart, is to be mindful of your attentions. Like specifically or strategically, when I was making content in I think 2020, I would say to get a notebook, to write down pros and cons, to write down your needs and wants, and to know your intentions. Because a lot of people do things unintentionally, which is not an accident, but it's just not aligned. Everything you do in your life is calculated. A lot of people do not realize, and that's why earlier today I was making videos letting people know, like, you need to start telling the truth. Like, if you're watching this video, like I said, this is specific and strategic. You need to start telling the truth. You need to start living in your truth. If other people are uncomfortable or other people don't like it, those people are not for you. Something I had to realize and what has helped me along my journey is continue to stand on my truth. There are a lot of people who don't like themselves. That's never my issue. And honestly, I've never cared about the people who did not like themselves because I don't live for people who don't like themselves. I live for my genuine subscribers and I live for myself and I live for the divine. We're all empty vessels. And because we're all empty vessels, how you choose to be used is going to be based off of your heart. It's going to be based off of your mind. If you're not out here trying to suggest and advise genuine intentions or send people genuine intentions, you have to understand that karma is real. A lot of people think that karma is not real because a lot of you all, not to say this to be rude or to hurt your feelings, but a lot of you all spiritually are getting your ass whooped and you don't know. You just having stuff physically happen to you. So what does that mean? Like you're constantly getting into a car accident. You're constantly losing shit. You're constantly losing money. You're constantly broke. You're constantly having altercations with people. Like all these bad things keep happening to you because your spirit is not aligned. So how do we get our spirit aligned? What I want to suggest and advise really quickly after I eat this French toast, hold on, is to start trusting yourself. So I'm gonna teach you guys how to do magic, like real magic, because magic is real. I love water, you guys. Guess what? I'm back on my water diet. Oh, I just spilled it. I don't know if you guys can see that. If I lower the camera, got my straw. Let me wipe this before I mess up my MacBook because I spilled soda in my MacBook before, you guys, and I had to get it replaced. I mean, not replaced, but I had to get it fixed. And it wasn't that much because I have Apple Care, like insurance, but still, okay. But I'm gonna teach you guys how to do magic. But in order for you all to learn magic, like first things first, what I also want to suggest and advise is trusting yourself and learning to believe. Like you're not going to be able to elevate until you believe. And what I want to suggest and advise is that you all start asking for wisdom and guidance. So for those of you who believe in a higher source and higher being, you already know the spirit of wisdom is the divine, but that's confirmation. And for those of you who don't, you have to be able to understand that if you limit yourself, you're not going to be able to elevate yourself. Like something that I said recently in my videos is that you need to start opening your mind just like the sky. A lot of people limit their mind because of what they see. Like I said, a lot of people live in the physical world and do not realize how big the sky is. So below as below. Like how there's water in the sky and there's water on the land. Like, I need everyone to wake up. If you didn't just catch what I said, it's cool. I just channeled. But if not, stop limiting yourself. Like, your mind is a lot bigger and a lot more spiritually connected than you think. The reason why you're so limited is because, one, a lot of the projections, a lot of the programs, initially, like everything in life, there is agendas with things. A lot of people don't understand that because of their resources and what they've been exposed to. This doesn't make anybody less than or better. And this is why I suggest and advise information. I'm a teachable person. I don't know everything, but I've experienced enough and I do educate myself to know and experience, and just from me being an indigenous woman. When you limit yourself just because of the certain things that you see in front of you or just because of things that you lack, you are now telling the universe or the world or the divines that, one, you're not worthy, two, you don't appreciate, and that you don't believe. So anytime you tell something that you're not worthy, anything that you don't believe, it's going to reject and it's going to deny. But if you realize that the sky is huge, like thinking about if you guys been on an airplane before, or just even going outside and looking at the sky, if there's 8 million people or 9 million people in this world, you have to be able to understand that when it comes to your mind and your thoughts, like you could believe and make up anything that you choose to. Now, when it comes to actually allowing it to come into the physical, I think this is where a lot of people get in, what is the word? Discouraged by, I think that's the word, is because you have a spiritual belief, you have something pop up to you in your mind and it doesn't exist in the physical world. That's why you have to create it. So, like the people who achieve their goals, the people that are considered to be like celebrities or people who are in the public eye, it's not because they're any better or less, and it's the fact that they spiritually received a download and they knew that it didn't exist in the physical world, so they had to create it. So, what I mean by that, spiritually, like I said, we are just that. So, if you get the idea like to open up a hair salon, and let's just say you're a licensed cosmetologist or you're in school to become a beautician and you have the idea of opening up a hair salon, but you physically don't own a hair salon and you want that to happen. Like that was your idea spiritually and physically. You have to put in the work, like you have to apply yourself. I think people say faith without work is dead. And that's true. Like, in order for you to receive your blessings, in order, like I said, for you to elevate, in order for you to heal, like you have to start applying spiritually the downloads that you relieve and trusting that what you feel and what you know is true. Like, you cannot allow people to invalidate you, especially in this world, and especially if you live in America. And like, for those of you who may not know, like I said, it's a lot going on all over the place, and it's not just America, but I am reporting live Eastern Standard Time at 10:03 p.m. Monday in America. You have to understand that everything in life is going on, and until you start to, take accountability and you start to want better for your life, nothing in life is going to change. And you should not be discouraged when you have an idea and you want to do something, but you don't know how to do it. That's the purpose of the vision. That's the purpose of the download. Everybody in life has potential to believe and do anything that they want to. The reason why, like I said, some people get discouraged, hopefully I'm using that word correctly, is because they're not applying themselves. A lot of people don't even think that they can obtain what it is that they want. And speaking from experience, something I had to realize what has helped me along my journey was accepting the fact that anything is possible, but just because anything is possible, there's no specific set in stone. So like for example, me, when I first originally started YouTube, I was going through some things, like, I was healing myself from my trials and tribulations, and I was healing myself from a lot of trauma. It wasn't the fact that I didn't believe in myself, it wasn't the fact that I didn't know that I could be a YouTuber or that I could, grow. It was just the simple fact that I've never done it before. And before I was able to execute it how I am now and to make these videos and to become more intuitive with my messages, to be channeling, I had a certain belief system of a limitation. And because of me limiting myself and not, like I said, internally understanding the energy, I was projecting. And that's another reason why it's so important to know your energy and other people's energy, is because what I had to realize is that it was a lot of projections that were sent towards me. Like me internally, my life, though, for those who are aware, or people like to say chosen, like people are going to project onto you because they know that about you. Like a lot of people will try their best. People have always projected onto me. Like I said, I've always been quiet about it because, like I said, I was just who I used to be, okay? But now as you get older, like, you gotta know, like, what is the projection, what's not for you. Because if I honestly were to stay in that mental space or that spiritual space and allow the projections to affect me, I would not want to continue to move forward or think that it's possible. Like, just because I'm doing something that's never been done before and people don't see results doesn't mean it's gonna happen. Like, it's not for them to see. It's not for people to watch and keep up with. That's why I tell you guys, like, to be mindful of who you're listening to, be mindful of who you're surrounding yourself with, because something too, a lot of people from my past were just meant to be in my past. This doesn't make anybody less than or better than, because something I'm learning as a mature woman, suggesting advising information, is that to not look at people as a threat or competition. Like I've never did, but to not even be mean to people or like be so hard on people or be so judgmental because they don't have certain resources. Like a lot of us don't have certain resources, financial information, academic information, or even intuitive information. So the reason why I also too created this environment was for people to know that they're not alone, for them to have a safe place and to know that it's okay. So as a healer, I'm here to suggest and advise and let you all know that you have to take your time. You want to continue to, like I said, surround yourself with like-minded people, and you really have to start removing these distractions, because there are no coincidences. Like the reason why you're not growing, because did you think about the people you're surrounding yourself with? And something too I want to say is that when you're used to hanging around the same people, let's just say you hang around for people for 5 years. If you've been hanging around people for 5 years and you all are doing the same thing for 5 years, you're not going to realize until somebody new comes into the picture and shows you different, or you remove yourself and you start to pay attention to yourself and you realize, like, is this working for me? Is this, and it doesn't make it bad. Like the people that you used to know, like the people from my past are not bad. They're just not people that are meant to be in my life towards the end or where I'm going. Because once again, too, you guys, don't feel bad to outgrow people. Don't feel bad that you're elevating. Don't feel bad when it comes to your healing. Like anybody who makes you feel bad, anybody who doesn't want you to do well is not people that you should want to be around anyways. And it's really important because there are people, like I said, who know that, and because they're not comfortable with themselves, they don't want you to grow. Like I've had everybody in my life, I'm gonna say everybody that I'm no longer associated with has projected. And the way I projected was wanting better for them, was wanting well for them, was trying to inform and educate them. And I had to realize they're not my audience. My audience are my genuine subscribers. So I just advise that you all, like from this day forward, like I said, it's a channel message for everyone who needs to see this, is to surround yourself with the people you're meant to be with. If you want to elevate, if you want to heal, you cannot surround yourself with certain people. You can't tolerate things no more. Like you cannot worry. Like something I seen earlier was this lady talking about how you need to be excited. Like if you're not with people who make you feel excited, like me personally, it was a lot of low vibrational people. And that's what I'm gonna call them. I've always been crackhead energy, meaning my energy is always on the trillium. And a lot of people I was with, like, they'd be like, "What you laughing at?" or who do you think you are?" And it's like, you're not meant to be around me. And that's something too I've learned from my mentors. Like, if my energy is worth $1 trillion and you're only worth $5, bro, you're not, no, like I'm not about to change how I am. Like, I'm not about to loosen up, because before, like I said, the reason why I was quiet, and it's not that I was never not myself or I was never not who I need to be. It was just because the people I was with, and I had to learn to realize, like, I'm literally only hanging around you all because I'm bored. And that is the reason why, for me, that's stunning my growth. Like, I have no problem admitting that I'm not perfect, you guys. Like, I'm letting you guys know that I used to be a bat out of hell, toxic. Like, I literally would just hang out with people because I was bored. I would literally entertain people because I wanted attention. I would literally do things just because I felt like, and it made sense. It made so much sense why I was bored. It made so much sense why I wanted attention because I was not around the people that were for me. And I just want to suggest and advise that, like, do not continue to tolerate people that are not for you. Like, if someone's energy is low, if someone's trying to make you feel bad because they're not up there, like, you're not even on my level. And it's not about being on levels. It's not about being superior. It's not about making people feel bad. But it's just like, bruh, like, you don't have to sit here and explain yourself. Like, me watching Chowder, me watching SpongeBob, me relating to Cartman from off of South Park. Like, if you don't get it, then you don't get it. If you don't like Mr. Krabs and you don't like money, 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 if you don't like SpongeBob, are you there? That SquarePants, like if you don't like Larry Love, like then it's not for you, and that's okay. Because guess what? There's 10 trillion people in this earth alive, like animals too. You guys know the animals were here before us, but like like you just gotta think about it. Like stop going out your way for people, places, and things that are not for you. Stop following people that are not for you. Like me personally, I will post things on my story for people to comment on, and people will watch. That's another thing. If people are just watching you, they're not commenting, they're not reposting, they're not sharing, block those people and don't follow them. And anybody who follows you just to follow you and doesn't follow, like, we're not fans over here. We're not pressed. Just because you're nice to people, like a lot of people get that twisted. Like just because I was willing to support you doesn't mean that I'm obsessed with you. Like, I support anybody because that's the right thing to do. Like, people who are about that life, people who have good energy can give good energy. A lot of people are ungrateful, and a lot of you think you're all that. You're not. Like me, I never try to sit here and act like I know what I'm all that. I know what I know, and that's why I disturb people. That's another thing. When you know what you know, stand on that. If that makes people uncomfortable, they need to take a class. They need to take a seat. Because one thing about me, I love a knowledgeable person. I love a teachable person. I love surrounding myself with people who can educate me and inform me and teach me some things in life. Because that's the purpose of life, is to learn. If I thought I knew everything, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. Nobody would. But I'm not gonna lie, there are a lot of people who think they know everything and they are where they are and they're not happy. And it's like, what is your energy? That's why you gotta learn the difference between your energy and other people's energy. Because it's like when you're able to separate the two, you realize like, okay, is this me being paranoid? Is this me being insecure? Or is this other person? Like me now, when I go into places, I don't just go to anywhere and everybody. And I now like I'm pulling it back because it's just like a lot of people do not deserve your time and energy, especially when you are extremely intuitive and you do have a mission. Because what's like I said, what's gonna happen from spirit, they'll remove them. Spirit will make that shit so visible and so obvious to the point where it's just like you don't even want to get around that person because like the vibe is gonna drop. And like, excuse me, from here, it's not to say that I can't care about and love about people. But for those of you who are elevating and your friends are not elevating, your families are not elevating, you just got to remove yourself. Because if they want to elevate, what's going to happen is they're going to see you elevate and it's going to make them feel some type of way. And something I had to realize to you guys, everyone's not going to elevate in this lifetime. Everyone is not going to change. There's a lot of men that I used to know, that I used to care about, that I wanted them to do well. They're not going to change. And something I had to realize is that I was never trying to change anybody, but it's just like something that I do not like and I cannot stand, but I've learned to accept it is that people talk a good talk. Like people say certain things, people, you know what I'm saying? Blah, 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 blah. But it's like, what are you doing? And that's the same thing. A lot of people do certain things but they're not about that life. Like they don't talk to, match what they're doing. So something I had to learn and accept to just like how I tell you guys to not have any expectations or disappointment is the same thing. Like learn to accept life for exactly what it is because everything literally, I promise you, is where it needs to be. There's nothing delayed. Everything is on time. Like something I had to realize, and this is gem. The divine timing and the physical world are two different things. So, like, when I want things to happen for a tie, that's a physical thing in the physical room. When it's supposed to happen, it's gonna happen. And something too I wanna say, and then I'm gonna continue to be making, and I'm gonna go ahead and end off this video, is that you have to be prepared. If you ask for something, you need to be prepared, good and bad. Like, something I'm learning is the ins and outs. Don't ask for certain things if you're not doing the work, if you're not preparing yourself. Because if you say that you want to be a bodyguard for the divine, if you say you want to do this, you say you want to do that, are you prepared? And I'm talking about like ins and the outs, like mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially. Because for those of you who know like what it's like to survive, like it's not a joke. Like, this is real. This is real. This is real. This is me. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be and gonna let the light shine on. Where's that from? Now I found who I am. I don't know this Disney Channel, you guys. I don't know where it's from. And you guys, if you keep seeing me looking at myself, it's because I did my baby hairs and they look bomb.com. I just have to use edge control instead of gel. I'm not a beautician, but I'm learning how to do my hair, you guys. And I know I threw this wig. I always throw this wig on the top of my head. And I have a lot of hair. Like I said, I don't know how to do my hair. I'm learning how to do that, but yeah. And I'm also too trying to look at the actual camera because the camera's up here, I think. And the screen that I have in front of me is like this because I'm using my MacBook. But yeah, you guys, I think we'll go ahead and end this video. If you guys have any questions in 3 minutes, just to make it even, odd, even. You guys can go ahead, but that's the channel message. And like, we're just gonna continue to pace ourselves. Like, we don't have to do anything. Like, you guys, we are exactly where we need to be. Just continue to show up for yourself. Like, you don't have to work hard every day. Like, I'm learning to work less because like before I used to be a part of the slave culture because anybody who works really hard is a slave. Like, I hate to break it to you, you're a slave. You're part of the patriarchy. Like, we're not supposed to work hard every single day. That's what the slaves did, and that's why the 9 to 5 was meant for the slaves because that's what slaves do. We're not slaves. Or I'm not a slave. I don't want to be a slave. Like Kanye West, he said something and he's right. You got to choose to be a slave, but that's for the people who are, like I said, in the physical world who do not understand spiritually where he's at. Kanye, there's nothing wrong with him. He is extremely gifted, okay? But you have to choose to do certain things. You're not supposed to work hard every single day because a lot of people fail to realize why would you work hard your entire life just to die? That's what slavery is. And I'm not saying that, that we don't need to survive, that because nobody said that. Like, a lot of people hear certain things, like I said, be easily triggered and are not informed. Continue to inform yourself, just like me. There are certain things that I'm working on, like certain people I'm learning to accept because at the end of the day, like Mark the Messenger said, you're not any better if you're not going to inform and educate your people. So like all the people that I dislike them because they lack knowledge. I dislike them because of their mindset, not because of what they look like. Because a lot of people who judge people off of the physical are in the physical realm and are extremely small-minded. But for those in the spiritual realm, just like me, I could be small-minded for judging you all in your spiritual realm, but I'm learning to not be so judgmental because everyone does not know, okay? And some people are not supposed to know. Like the videos that it's supposed to touch and the people it's supposed to align with, it will. For those of you who need to continue to learn and practice, you will. At the end of the day, is everyone in the world gonna be aligned? No. Is everyone in the world gonna be peaceful? No. But for the people that it's supposed to be peaceful, the people that it's supposed to resonate with, the people I'm supposed to align with, it will happen. So all I can do is just continue to show up, do the best I can. And for those of you all who choose to learn and heal, same thing with you guys. So next month we're going to be doing bookings. In a couple months, we will getting we will be getting back into, you guys know, the consistency of the uploads, but just as of right now, I'm just going live. And like I said, I did my baby hair and I feel pretty. And that's another thing. You gotta be able to accept yourself. Like, y'all already know, for those of you who know, I come on here with this wig like this on purpose. It's on purpose. Like, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Like, I'm a whole magician in real life. So I do things specifically and strategically that makes sense to me and not nobody else. And for those of you who are hip, but you gotta be comfortable in your skin. Like, if you are not comfortable in your skin, people are gonna try to bother you. And that's the thing. Like, don't let people like manipulate you. And once you realize people are manipulating you, like I said, something I used to do was like interpret it. Like, don't even do that. Like, just remove yourself. Just go ahead and start cutting people off. Don't give your time and energy that to things that do not belong to you, and surround yourself, because once you start to remove the people and you align yourself and you continue to love yourself, your life is going to get better and your physical reality will shift and change. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Live your life and don't forget to say YOLO. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm getting back to my old self because that's what I used to say in the beginning of my videos. And if you're an OG, you guys, like, just stay tuned. Um it's a lot of surprises. I got a lot of things up my sleeves, but I just want to say thank you guys. And thank you guys so much for following me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Like I said, we reached our goal. So thank you to everyone following me on Instagram. Make sure you guys are following me at Ty_guidance. And for those of you who want to be in my personal life and all in my business, my personal Instagram and Twitter is Ty_bold. And I do have a personal channel on YouTube where I do cooking videos. Like I said, just me really who I really am and not just at work. But yeah, y'all can follow that. But until next time, you guys, I love you guys. Peace in the Middle East. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Don't let nobody steal your joy, and don't let nobody